Good morning, everyone. Good morning. It's Paris here from Analyzer. Friday, 26th of November. There goes November. There goes the Scorpio month. How is everyone? I've got Scratchy. And which one's Scratchy? Is this Luca? This is Luca. Good morning, Luca. That's Luca and this is Scratchy. Scratchy. They won't leave me alone this morning. They're not always like this. But just like people. What's the matter, darling? What's the matter? But just like people, they've got their moods too. How is everyone today? Now, friends, it's a shit, miserable, grey day outside in Melbourne, and we've got to start getting used to these shit, miserable days and try and block the energy and the moods that these days make us feel. So what you do is you put on the radio for some music, you do something that you wear colourful colours, do something to brighten you up. Because this weather, this intentionally man-made weather, is done intentionally to mess with our heads. It's too early for me to be swearing. To mess with our heads. So do bright things and whatever you can to raise your spirits a bit, because it really makes you miserable. Even if you got to drink a nice cup of tea or do something talking about that, I'm just going to be walking and talking. I won't be talking much because I've got to prepare the birds and a million other things I've got to do. Now, friends, most of us got sucked in by what the videos going around on the weekend about Northern Territory and the Aborigines being rounded up like herd of cattle and force vaccinated. That was bullshit. Now, friends, there was not one video online to show that was happening. Not one video. Did anyone see a video that showed, I'm just going to boil the kettle. Did anyone see any video that showed that the Aboriginals in Northern Territory, that they were rounded up by the military? It was all bullshit. And once again, friends, all the online groups who were saying SOS and all that bullshit, they're all in it. And let me tell you something else, friends. I know it's early in the morning, but I'll get a moment to talk to you guys. Now, I'm just taking out my teas. See all my teas? Take out my teas. And take out my vitamins. I'll show you my Vimagy. I only take Vimagy. I don't take any other brand. No other brand. I've tried all the brands here in Australia. Nothing works. Nothing works for me. Right? So I've got my curcumin for my back pains, for my backstabbing pains, because that's what they are from, right? And I've got my B12, celery force, zinc. Really urgent to take the zinc. I've got digoxidine. I've got millions of them. I have to. I won't live otherwise. I can't. Licorice, not just from these, other things also that I take, in gold and silk. So I take these in conjunction with other stuff also, right? And I've got lovely, it's all right, good morning, cheeky. And I've got my raspberry leaf here. Sorry, it's backwards. My raspberry leaf, I've got nettle, right? And I've got my oolong tea and my dandelion tea I've got to take out. I actually bought the dandelion tea for my parrots because it is good for their any issues they have in their livers and all that. So I've just got my dandelion tea. I'll show you here. This is my dandelion tea. I've got a lot of teas. Sorry, it's back to front, the writing. I apologise. Facebook has done something to, I don't know how to make it. I've got to sort out how to do it back to front. Now listen, friends, there was no proof to show of what was happening. I'm just looking for the tea strainer. There was no proof of what was happening in Northern Territory during the week. We all got sucked in again. But, you know, we hear things. And as humans, we think, well, surely we're going to have some evidence. There was no evidence, friends. No one had any evidence. It's all right, Ruby, I'm here. They can hear me talking. They're wondering who I'm talking to, the parrots. No one had any evidence of what was happening in Northern Territory. So I reckon, good morning, babies, good morning, baby. So I reckon this farce was done once again from the controlled opposition. Everything is done from the control. All the online groups are co-op. I don't care what you guys think and what you're saying. You're going to realise one day what's going on. You're going to realise we've all been duped and moved. Now listen, they're firing up emotionally. I'm just taking out my oolong tea from here. My tea's putting it in my... I've got a few tea strainers, right? They want to fire up the protesters. So when people go protesting on the weekend, Everyone's really angry and pissed off and causing anger scenes. This is what they want, to say that people who are anti-vaxxers, people who are pro-liberation, pro-freedom, people who are pro-free thinking, they want to make out that these people are violent. They're doing it on purpose. Don't get caught in the trap. My raspberry leaf. Don't get caught in the trap. Now, friends, I was thinking this morning, right? Isn't it interesting how they say that this virus is contagious, right? If this virus is so contagious, which it is, the fact is it is. It is a new man-made virus, just like the Epstein-Barr herpes viruses are man-made viruses. It is a new virus, and it is being shared through the vaccinations, right? I'm not going to say more than that. If this virus is so contagious, why is the government allowing people to go to the protests? Why aren't they saying it's high risk, right, to go to the protests? Now, I can't do my work with Scratchy and Luca here. Why aren't the government saying, no, we've got a contagious virus out there, you cannot go to the protests because you're spreading it all? Why isn't that happening? I tell you why, friends, it's not happening. It's not happening because they want the virus to spread. See, all of you who've gone to the protests, all of you, right? There's a high chance that because viruses are contagious, and all these people who tell you online that viruses are not contagious, they are with the co-op. All viruses are contagious. They may be dead on the outside, but as soon as a virus goes in your body, it activates all your weaknesses. And it activates the Epstein-Barr, and it activates the herpes, and it causes health issues. So I know as a fact that all of you who are around people who've been vaccinated, and a lot of you who have had the vaccination, right, I know that you are all ill and I've got symptoms. I know that as a fact. You cannot deny me that information. I know it as a fact. And even those of you who are unvaccinated, Lovey wants to go inside the bird room. Here, I'll show you. Here's Lovey. Right. Lovey, so what I do every morning, friends, and during the day, Lovey sits here, which I'm not crazy about, but I cover. Come here, Lovey. The door's open. I've got to open the door for Lovey. Come on, Lovey. Come on. Good girl. And Lovey goes into her friends. See? They're smarter than us. And Luca's come back. I love you, Luca. No, this is Luca because she does this chirp. I love you, Luca. Calimera, Luca. So, do not tell me, those of you who are unvaccinated, that you do not have some kind of health symptoms. But no one's talking about it because you're afraid that you're being quarantined and bullshit or whatever, or reported, right? Everyone is having symptoms, and especially those over 65, right, with weaker immune systems, because as we age, we get weaker, not because we have to. I'm just looking at my vitamins here. See, look, I've just mixed my teas here. I'll show you. So I've mixed here 3 teas, my dandelion. I haven't put any nettle in. I'll put some nettle in later. So I've mixed my teas here, and I'm just going to put in the hot water, and my right arm is gone, so I'm a bit weak with my nerves in my right arm. Right, so I'll do that. And then I've got my plunger. Now, I don't normally use this plunger. I normally use another one, a proper tea one, but I'm just going to use this for now because I've got to wash the other one. So I'm just going to let that seep a bit. And I've got my tea ready here, as you can see. You can put rice syrup, you can put honey. I'll put some chaga mushroom in. Right, chaga, put whatever. Nothing's going to hurt you. Nothing's going to hurt you. And I've got to take my zincs. And how you take the zincs. Right, so how you take this vitamin. I'm going to try and do it. I've got to put the camera down. Right, so I'll put the camera down. Right, so this, medical medium shows us how to do this stuff. Right, Anthony Williams shows. So that's a dropper, that's called a dropper. And when you squeeze that into the zinc, you get a dropper full. So that's a dropper full, can you see that? Goes up to there, it's a dropper full. So you just put it under your tongue. That's 1 dropper full. I've got to be taking at least 6, 7. It says 2, but because of the state of my health at the moment, and it's June. If you don't like the taste, which is all right, I put everything in a glass of water. I put all the dropperfuls in a glass of water, and I scull it, and it tastes yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. And this is the B12. I don't know if I've got B12 or not, but it doesn't matter because B12 helps with cells. Right, with the cells. Doesn't matter. It's not going to kill you. It's red. One. I'm not fussed about the taste. Taste don't bother me. Oh, it depends what it is, but this stuff is all right. It doesn't bother me. Now, I'm just going to wipe some B12 that fell on the bench here, just so the birds don't lick it. Not that there's anything wrong with them, but I just don't want to risk anything. Now, friends, everything is spreadable. So if you guys don't, you all have symptoms. You all have symptoms, and if you don't have symptoms, it's because you can't see it. I'm just waiting for the water, the tea to seep. If you don't have symptoms, it's because you either can't see it or they're on their way. They're on their way. And remember, friends, I've been saying for a couple of years now, no eggs. No eggs. Regardless of the animal welfare aspect of it, right? Even if you have chickens at home who lay eggs, no eggs, because eggs are used in the medical laboratories to propagate viruses, all these man-made viruses. So when a man-made virus is being released in the society, like the Epstein-Barr and the herpes, for at least, you know, herpes is called the kissing disease. Did you know that? Because you spread it by saliva, by kissing. Even if you kiss on the cheek, doesn't have to be a tongue kiss, right? It's spread by kissing. So herpes is called a kissing disease. We all have herpes. We all have Epstein-Barr. So if you do a blood test and ask your GP to say, well, look, I want to check if I've got Epstein-Barr or herpes, depending on when you ask for it, it'll show up. Sometimes it shows up, sometimes it doesn't. But we all have it. It's dormant in our body, and in a lot of people, it's more obvious, depending on the health issues they have. So, eggs. They use eggs in the laboratories to propagate viruses, to grow viruses. So each time you have anything with egg in it, a cake, a raw egg, a scrambled egg, anything with eggs, the viruses that are in our body, and we all have this new virus that's circulating now. We all have it, right? Because they're all contagious. So you just manage it, just like we managed the other ones. We managed the Epstein-Barr, we managed the herpes, or we sort of managed it. This is why there's so many illnesses out there, because these viruses get activated. So the egg, once you eat egg, and there's the viruses in our body, as soon as they eat the egg, the viruses get activated, they become alive, if you want me to put it that way. They become alive. They are alive in us, but they're dormant. But they become alive with certain foods. They become alive with eggs. They become alive with mercury that we have in our teeth, that I have and that others have, because the mercury is always still in the mouth and goes in the body. So that activates the viruses. It gets activated by chemicals, gets activated by quite a few things, the viruses. This is common information. This is general information you can find out there. I'm not saying anything that's not out there. So once you have the eggs, it activates your viruses, and the virus is doing damage in the body and causing all sorts of illnesses. All sorts of illnesses. Now, the more ill you become, I'm finding with these, the latest vaccines in them, Musty, no, is that people are losing their common sense, their logic, being rational, and their cognitive. From number 1 to the number 2 vax, and it's going to keep getting worse on and on. So friends, keep an eye out for people who've done the number 1s and 2s, vaccines I'm talking about, right? Look at their cognitive, look at their reasoning, how rational are they? Are they logical? Are they illogical? What's going on? Because that's what's happening. And I foresee a very near future, from next year onwards, a country and a world full of dementia and Alzheimer's. Why? Because dementia and Alzheimer's are diseases where the brain deteriorates, and if these vaccines are promoting nerve and brain deterioration, that's what's going to happen. So, and you see, there are certain people that want us to forget things, so that we don't blame them for things, so we don't sue them, right? Because when you don't, when you forgive, there's no repercussions for the bad people, is there? See, this is why another thing I completely disagree with from the New Age industry. They say, you got to forgive, you got to forgive. I'm thinking, forgive for what? Someone's harmed you, someone's raped you, someone's killed you, got to forgive. Forgive for what? You don't forgive. You can ignore and say, well, that happened. I'm not going to let that person control my life anymore, and I get on with my life. But why would you forgive? Because when you forgive, you're giving energy to the other person. You're actually giving forgiveness and energy to the other person. And this is what they're trying to do now. They're trying to dumb down the brain so that people can't think clear, so that they forgive, so that they don't sue, so that they don't get angry with the people who force them to do things that have destroyed their cognitive ability and their health. What do you reckon, Luca and Scratchy? What do you reckon? It's shit, isn't it? It's shit, I know. Hello, Luca, I love you. You're going to say hello to everyone, Luca? What's the matter, darling? Hello, Scratchy. Now, I think they want to have their bath. It's not even 9 o'clock yet, but the children want to have their bath. I had my shower, they've got to have a shower. Another thing, friends, is every morning when you get out of bed, shower. Every night, shower. Why? Because it's going to help you cleanse yourself energetically, right? And physically also, physically and energetically. And whatever you've picked up from other people out there, at least you can cleanse some off from the outside of your body at least. We can cleanse the inside with teas, with eating well, drinking well, and a lot of vitamins, friends, a lot of strong vitamins. And this brand that I get that I find that has only ever worked, I've tried all the other brands, the Australian brands, I won't mention names. They don't work. They don't work. Because if they did, why are there so many sick people out there? And if you're not sick, you think you're not sick. You've forgotten some symptoms that you've had. Look at any symptoms, whether it's with women, if it's endometriosis, cancers, urinary tract, sexual transmitted diseases, everything. That is all viruses. All of it. Keep going. Cancers, like I did, I say cancers. Everything, leukemia, everything. It's all because the herpes have been activated. The Epstein-Barr herpes have been activated. If you want some of this information, it is online on Anthony Williams' website. And you can also research the medical journals like I did to fact check it all. It's all there. It's all there, friends. But I don't have time to be sending links to everyone, hundreds of people. I just don't have time for that, right? And it's really interesting how these groups that are online, not only because they get all these fake numbers on their follower list, I'm telling you it's fake, and a lot of us know it's fake. But isn't it interesting how they can say what they're saying and get away with it and not get us arrested? I've been campaigning for bird rights for, over 10 years. And I've had, authorities come to my door because of what I say and death threats and everything, right? And people trying to sue me and shit for what I'm saying about birds, to get birds out of cages. And you mean to tell me that these people online, these online influencers that you're all listening to, these bullshit online influencers, are speaking against our premiers and against government and saying worse things? If I went in the streets now and had a hanging thing, a gallows thing for anyone, I'd be thrown into the psychiatric fucking ward. And these people get away with it. Why? Because these are all controlled opposition. They're creating theatre for the elections that's coming up. They said probably March. I wouldn't be surprised if it's earlier than that. Because the dumber people are, you see, friends, the dumber people are, the more they'll vote, the dumber via the vax and via eating bad foods. And we know most people eat shit. But the dumber people are, the more they'll vote for these people. Again, that's the other thing, friends. Because how are we going to replace people for more empathic and loving and caring people if our brain is dumb? If we're not rational? No, Musty, no chewing. No chewing, no. No, Musty, no. Musty loves to chew my folders up here, right? Musty loves to chew my folders, no chewing. I see some chewing up there, not happy. Not happy, no. Come on, Musty. You want to say hello to everyone, Musty? Good morning. Good morning, Musty. The birds are in here because they're a bit fragile and they need some TLC until they go outside. So, friends, only believe things when you've got proof and evidence. Only believe things from people who have had the experiences and can prove to you the experiences. Like I've proven to you a few things. But I'm telling you now, I know exactly what the symptoms are of what's been imposed out there in the medical community. No, Musty. No, look, she goes back. No, Musty, no. They know what no means. They know what no means. They know. Birds are not stupid. They know exactly what's going on. Musty, what are you doing? I'm trying to talk to my friends, Musty. Just give me a moment. I know what the symptoms are, and a lot of you've got them, and a lot of people aren't talking about them in public. Build up your immune system, please, friends, with zincs and all other vitamins. If you want the Vimagy details, the website is called Flower of Life. If you're in America, I think they're from Canada, they come. Distributors are from New Zealand until they discontinue them in Australia, because they will do that. They will stop people getting vitamins and doing things. But there's other sources. Google sources of zinc and have as many vitamins and teas. When I said cut out coffee and alcohol and all that, I meant it. Because all these things are activating the viruses. Caffeine. It's not the way it was 100 years ago, friends. The coffees. Don't say, oh, my grandfather drank until he died. Well, fuck, it was different then. Cigarettes were different then. The coffees were different then. Wine was different then. Wine has got blood, sulfites, and eggs in it. Right, so you drink wine and it activates the viruses again. Did you know that? Look at what wines are made of. Organic wines have got lesser chemicals in them. Right, and there are vegan wines if you want them. They don't taste great, but anyway. But avoid alcohol and avoid eggs and avoid chemicals, any sprays, anything you can, because all these things are going to fast track this virus that we all have. Like I said, those who believe the viruses are not contagious, it's because you're living in a la-la land, because you don't want to believe and admit what is going on around you. All viruses are contagious. These viruses are contagious, just like Epstein-Barr and the herpes. And this COVID is contagious. I can see you, Musty. These are contagious and we all have it. So we have it in our body now. It's the first time that our body is exposed to this type of man-made virus. So we have to try and figure out how to strengthen ourselves so that we don't lose it, right, cognitively, and get more ill than what we have to. Anyway, friends, I just wanted to say a quick good morning. I think I went through a few things. Dress bright today, put bright stuff on, put some music on, some dance music or any kind of music that you love, romantic or any music at all, and lift your spirits. And I'm a bit tired. I'm very tired, actually, because I'm doing a million things here. A million things here. Raise your spirits, raise your vibrations, and know that we've got support of one another. And don't believe anything unless you've got proof of it. Video proof of something. Please be wary of all these groups. It is a trap. These protests are traps for you to all get contagious, which you all have. Musty? No. No, Musty? No. They're traps. And I often wonder what they're spraying amongst the people that go there. Be careful, they are political traps. They're all political protests. They had nothing to do with freedom. Because look where we are now, friends, 2 years later. Nothing's changed. Nothing to do with freedom. Absolute nothing. Absolute nothing. Do not think that the protests that people have been going to are going to change anything. They are the wrong leaders, the wrong groups, wrong protests. We've got organised freedom, real freedom protests. All right, friends, think about what I said. Why are they allowing people to go to these protests, these public rallies, if they're saying that the viruses are contagious? Why is the government allowing it? Because it's in their interest for you to go. The Liberal Party wants you to go there and say F Dan Andrews. The Labor Party wants you to go to do this and that. You know, the Black Lives and all the other stuff. Musty, watch this, watch what he's doing. Musty, no. Musty, Musty, no. No, Musty, no. I'm not giving him attention, that's a problem. Got to let you guys go have your vitamins. Sending you all love and high vibrations. As you can see, my hands are full. Come on, Musty. Come on, good boy. Come here, Musty. Come and say hello to everyone. I love you, Musty. You smell a little musty. Have you had a bath lately? Have you had a shower to cleanse your aura? Have you cleansed your aura lately? Have you? He's got quiet. Normally he doesn't stop talking. All right, everyone. Sending you